Oh, hi. You're early. Yes, I was just trying to finish up sewing this rip in my old sweatshirt before I started journaling. But you popped in a little early, but that's okay. That's okay. Yes, someone shouted out to me during the last video when I was wearing this old sweatshirt that I had a little bit of a tear on the seam back here on the shoulder that I didn't notice. I didn't notice it at all, but yeah, I was so tired of, wearing those big heavy sweaters and big fleeces, but it was still a little cool outside. So I dragged out a few old sweatshirts. And this used to be one of my fave. And it is a teacher sweatshirt. So if you're a new Possum Peep, welcome, welcome, welcome. You might not know that I am a retired school teacher, or maybe you can just tell, right? Well, I love this sweatshirt with, I gotta hang on to my needle here, with the big apple on it. And I used to wear this one all the time. Let me read it to you. I will not yell in class. I will not throw things in class. I will not get mad and hit anyone in class. I will not have a temper tantrum in class. And I will always be good because I am the teacher, I am the teacher, I am the teacher, I am the teacher, I am the teacher. I don't know why, but this sweatshirt always cracks me up. All right, just give me a sec. I want to finish this up and I'll be right back. Howdy, Possum Patty here, and yippers, I'm ready to start now. Well, I wasn't sure what I was going to do today. I did do a little journaling earlier. I'll show that to you in a minute. And so I figured if I just came in and sat down and looked around, something would pop out at me because there's always crumbs on the table, right? Well, when I walked in the room, the first thing that I saw was that sweatshirt sitting on the back of my chair. So I just picked that up and said, let me just stitch up this little hole and I'll throw it in the laundry and that'll be done. And then while I was stitching, I started thinking about those postcards from Janet Nash. One is a prompt postcard and the other one is a postcard to Angela Rose from Janet Nash's Fairy Flo. So get out my magical mushroom fairy house journal again. And there's only 2 more pages to do in the back. Well, while I was sewing, and don't ask me why, I opened up the journal and I'm looking at the postcards and I'm looking at the page and I said to myself, well, I got some fairy papers in a bag over in the tub over there in the corner. So I got up and I went and I got them and I came back and I'm just staring at the page and I looked at the papers and, thinking about what I should be doing. Let me put these down for a moment. And I said, well, I'm going to put Flo's picture on the back of the postcard. I covered up my address over there so that we know that this is from Flo the Fairy in the UK, Janet Nash's Fairy. And I said, okay, and that's going to be on that page, and then I'll put the prompts on this page, and maybe I'll just get them both started, the spread, do a little work on it today, and, maybe finish it later. But I'm looking at this page, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's more netting. Remember on the last page, I did this really fun flower flip. Add flowers to my garden over here. And on this page, there's more netting, but this netting is almost like a pocket or a tuck. And I'm like, well, what if I take the postcard and I put it inside this netting instead of inside of a pocket? This was my first idea, was to put a background, put a pocket, put the postcard in there, like I always do. But now I'm like, ooh, this can be awesome. I can put this postcard in this netting, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I will just slow stitch around it, and then you'll be able to see both sides like that. And then what I'm going to do is on this page, make a collage inspired by the collage that's on the postcard that Janet sent. I was like, yeah, so that's why I was over there. I went over there to grab some magazines because it looks like she used some images here. There's a garden and a house and some bird houses, and she made some little mushroom houses, and it's just super fun. It says enjoyable, spending time with friends, thriving and slow, and there's a leaf there. Well, let me show you under the other camera so you can see it up closer. Yeah, so we're just going to have a play today. I don't know how far we'll get, but you know, we're going to start the finish. We're going to start finishing this Fairy Mushroom House journal. And I'm going to show you the other page I did earlier that I finished. I know that's a lot of finishing for Possum Patty, right? I'm good at starting. I do finish every once in a while. Anyway, come on along. Before we get to this page, let's take a look in Emma. Emma's My Shabby Chic journal, and all these things came from the flea market. Even Emma came from the flea market. This is my flea market Emma Shabby Chic journal, and I'm doing some spring journaling in here. And there's my clock. Oh my stars, it is the morning dove o'clock already. That's okay, we'll do have a little play before it gets too late. So you might remember I was a little marker crazy this week, playing with these markers from the Dollar Tree. And I had painted this with the markers, but I had not yet put the black lines on it. So all I had to do was put the black lines on my garden. And then I had made 2 of these bees. And I glued one right there. And I glued this in as a tuck. And in the tuck, I made a little journaling card about the irises that bloom very early in my yard. Yeah, I know, it looks a little different now. I have a little tiny picture of what it looked like before. And my idea was to, cut the garden gate so that it opens up, and then inside put the picture of my garden iris that bloom very early. And, just make it a journaling card, put it in here. And I wanted to put like the date and a little bit of something about them. Well, when I cut the garden gate to open and close, this little part at the top was just too flimsy, and I wanted to cut out that little part there so you can see into the garden, and then the whole thing just wasn't working. I would have to have had made this top part too thin, and once it was so thin, then it really wasn't opening and closing correctly. Yeah, so I modified it a little bit. I just used the bottom part of the garden gate there, and I cut that. I put the picture behind it, and then I backed the card with this scrapbook paper. And I thought I would write right on here or put a little paper here and do my journaling. But then I got the idea, just before I glued this down, to leave a little space between the paper and the card. This is a greeting card. To make a little tiny pocket there. And I made a little journaling card out of this paper here. And I said, March 8th, 2024, the mini iris bloom before the daffodils, 2 colors, purple and red violet. So just a little bit of journaling, and then I'm like, well, I cut it like a tag, and I said, I want to put some ribbon at the top, and I cut 2 pieces of this very sparkly Crafter Square ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And then I'm like, oh, I want to put a button. So I went looking through my buttons and I found this little bee button. And I'm like, well, isn't that just possum perfect? I've got my bumblebee up there and I've got my little bee button on there. And I actually did sew that on there. He's sewn on. And then I put him in the pocket. So I'm looking at this very sparkly ribbon. And I'm looking at the gate. Now you have to remember, this is what the gate looked like, okay? Except for I cut off that blue part at the top. Now all I have is this little bottom piece. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't know. I said, it's okay, but let's just make this a magical secret garden. Something the fairies would love to fly into. And I'm staring at this sparkly purple ribbon up here at the top. And the ribbon was on the table. And I started cutting pieces and putting it around where that little blue wooden part was. Well, now it's just like glaring in your face. Ah, that is a purple sparkling garden gate. Kind of looks like a trellis now, doesn't it? And to make matters more sparkly, I put some bling bling on there. So now it's a very sparkly purple garden gate, and I put a little half round blue pearl to make the door. I lined it with some of that scrapbook paper, and you could see the two kinds of irises in there. And the door opens and closes. But I think, you know, it's so in your face, but with this bit of purple sparkly coming out the top there, I think that just ties it together. Yeah, I think that just ties it together. Or maybe that's all in my mind. I don't know. My mind can be a scary place, right? Well, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me know below if you would have kept this very serene blue gate just the way it was. I guess I could have cut it and not tried to cut out that middle part. And then that would have worked, but I love it. It's fun. Anything that makes me laugh makes journaling worthwhile. And then that just goes in the little tuck there. Okay, let's put Emma away. Why is this clip here? I don't know. I don't think I need that clip there. Okay. I have another garden page to do. And a couple more pages to do in there. All right. Emma's not going far because she needs some more journaling in her. So I'm looking at the postcard. Before I sew it into the netting, I've got to study it. So in the background, there's a house and some trees and the sky and a garden. And then up front, we have more flowers and a bird house, or kind of like mushroom houses that are very interesting. So I got out these Birds and Blooms magazines. Now I got these free at the library. Oh, and there's plenty of houses. Oh, these are gorgeous. Those are perfect. I wonder, should I do, I was thinking I wanted something with a sky across the top like she did, and then maybe some trees, and then maybe a house, and then maybe flowers, and then maybe some mushrooms down here. Or should I cover the whole page with something? Well, just look at the cover. I kind of love that. All right, let's just start ripping some stuff and seeing if I can get them to come together. All I did was turn the page, and there's a sky with a rainbow. I was like, perfect. And not only was there a sky with a rainbow, there was like a little fairy house inside of a tree. Oh, so this one, that was the tree with the little door in the window. It just doesn't stand out at all. So I thought if I glued this to the yellow paper and then give it a little bit of a yellow border, that it would stand out in the garden. So I have a sky, I have flowers, I have a house with a garden, I've got a birdhouse, I got more flowers down here. I just cut that mushroom, and this one I'm working on. So I want to have a few mushroom houses. Oh, I could put little doors and windows on this one too, can't I? Just cut around. I thought the yellow would make it pop. Well, it does show up much better. Okay, I have to find some doors or windows or something for this one. Should I put 2 mushrooms? I know. We'll think about the mushrooms in a few minutes. And now, let's see. Okay, we're going to start with this one. I cut off the big birdhouse that was here. We're going to glue this one down as best as we can get it. See, the back cover is full of 3-dimensional items here, so gotta do the best I can. Okay, now let's see, this does not go on next. The little house is going to get tucked in there. Oh, look what I just found. Isn't that adorable? Little watering can. Oh, that's got to go there somewhere. I know I got another little piece of that somewhere here. Oh, I got this. Oh, yeah, more zinnias. Buying plants can be so expensive and gets more expensive every year. So I think I'll do a video and a journal page about, I don't know, maybe like 3 ways to save money. Save money and have flowers, something like that. And we'll see how that goes. Because I just love my flowers. Trying to be careful not to cut any of this crochet bits or ribbons or stuff from the other side. Oh, I like the way these flowers are poking out in the corner there. So now we have this mushroom house. I'm not sure how I'm going to put these on here. I'm not sure at all. I know, it's the shape of the page. See, if I had a corner here, I'd put a bunch of mushroom houses. So, well, we're just going to make do with what we have here. Okay, I'm going in a new direction. We're going to have 1 mushroom house down here, and that belongs to the garden fairy. And I might put some more flowers. I want to add some yellow because I've got yellow around that. And I thought these are really pretty. They look like coreopsis or something. And I might collage some of those down there. And then I took that little birdhouse, and there's a pole here where I cut off this big giant birdhouse because I just thought that was too big for this scene. And I could put the little birdhouse right there. Oh, I have my bee. I could put my bee in the garden, couldn't I? Kind of big for that garden. It's a little garden. Oh, here's some more zinnias. Yeah, I don't like to rush. I like to take my time and, you know, not feel like I have to get it done. And if I only have a few minutes to journal, you know, then I like to come in and spend a few minutes journaling, even if I don't finish something. Just come in and have a play. And I know some people like shorter videos and some people like longer videos. You know, but sometimes when I don't have a lot of time and I just want to come in and have a few minutes of play time, you know, then maybe I'll just pop that video up instead of waiting for the next day. We still need something here. We need a fairy or, let's see, maybe a butterfly or bird. Something that would fit. These are calendar pictures. Well, I guess folks who, like a longer video, I can suggest, hitting a playlist. Put a playlist on, because that'll go on for hours. I know if you're doing something and you want to journal along, and, sometimes it's just hard to stop and put the next video on. It's easier if you could just, work for a while and don't worry about changing the video every 10 minutes. Yes. Oh, I love that. Yellow, 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 little bits of yellow here and there. Would have had something nice like right there. Right there. What do we got? What do we got? Well, I don't want them taking up too much room, though. I want something... Oh, we got this. Let's see how this would look. What do you think? What do you think? I still don't have a fairy, but... Oh, I could make a fairy. Oh, I have to find a magazine image of a little person and then make some wings and put it on there. So this is what I have so far. I'm loving this. I know it's hard to put under here. I'm going to flip it around, then I'll flip the video around. Okay. There. So I've got the little fairy mushroom house, and I added the yellow flowers, and then the little tiny gardening tools there. And then I have the yellow bird, and I have the birdhouse up here, and I'm going to flip this around again. And then at the top, I've got the rainbow, and another little birdhouse, some more flowers, and then the little house with the garden. Well, I'm loving it so far, but I think I'm going to come back tomorrow and make a little fairy. Put the little fairy here somewhere flying around. And I don't know, might do some else. Oh, I have to sew the postcard into the tuck. And then maybe I'll start a play on this side. I'm loving how this collage is coming out. Thank you, Janet, for the inspiration. Flowers and sky and gardens, little house, little bird, little mushroom home there. Yeah, and I do want to make a fairy. I want to make a little fairy from a magazine picture so that she fits in there. Oh, and Angela Rose. I can't forget Angela Rose. The postcard is to Angela Rose, and she's sort of supervising me here, and she says, don't forget to put the little gold around the edge. But Angela, I'm not doing that until I get all the little bits glued on first, and then we'll add some gold at the end. So a little bit more play to go on this one, and then I think I want to get started on the other one. So I hope you come back tomorrow for some more journaling fun. Oh, and Angela is reminding me also that a little bit of excitement at the flea market this week. Yeah, but that's a whole nother story. I hope you come back for that one too. I just want to wish you happy junk journaling. Bye-bye now.